Hey guys, it's M3 Tech here. Today I'm going to be doing a guide on how to save battery life on your Android phone. I'm currently using a Nexus 5 and by using these methods I can get about 5 to 7 hours of extra battery life. Some techniques that I'll be using is using Greenify for stopping applications from running in the background, Widgetsoid for easy control of battery draining devices, Lux for easy control of the screen brightness, Advanced Task Manager for easy control of stopping applications, Autorun Manager to stop applications from starting, No-frills CPU to underclock your phone, and I'll also be showing you some tips and tricks in settings to save battery. So I'll be starting off with Greenify. By far I think this is the best application for saving battery. With Greenify, selected applications stop when you're not using them. This list has 3 sections. You have not hibernating automatically and hibernated. For this example I'm just going to stop eBay from being hibernated. And we can see eBay is under pending. So to stop the application from running in the background, you can click on it and then you press the sleep button. Some applications you won't want to hibernate automatically, like I've got AdBlock and some other apps that are important to the system. Basically just use common sense when selecting those apps. If something breaks, then probably shouldn't be turned off. Now on to the next method, Widgetsoid. Widgetsoid allows you to create custom widgets. I've created a custom widget here that turns on and off some battery saving applications and stuff. And so of course you've just got data, screen rotate, torch and Wi-Fi hotspot. So it's pretty easy to create a custom widget like this. You can just go into the Widgetsoid app. So by going onto the app you can select your widgets that you've already created, or if you hold down on the screen, create widget, and go down to widget. When you do this, make sure that it's not an indicator or a mixed, make sure that it's just a switcher. So I'm going to be creating a switcher just for my Bluetooth. So you'd select Bluetooth, press tick. You can select multiple switches if you want to. Currently that looks pretty disgusting in my opinion. So you can change the theme, get rid of the round corners, get rid of the separation. You can also change the background color. I like to do none. Background transparency 0%. Indicator type, you can do circles and stuff. It's actually quite broad in what you can do on this application. And you can choose your icon, shadow color and everything. I'm just going to keep it like that. You can click apply and now you've got a button which turns on and off Bluetooth. Now Lux I find is the easiest way to change screen brightness. It works off of values that you preset for the screen. So that's just the widget there. You can choose to say, okay, so we're in 40 lux at the moment, as you can see on the screen there. You can go, okay, for this type of brightness I'd want it to be about 50%. And so then by pressing the sync button, it'll link the backlight value of 50% to the ambient brightness of 40 lux. You can choose to link. And so you have different adjusting profiles. If you do the profile of, I like to do manually, but if you do dynamically, it'll change depending on the backlight. So if I just cover the screen indicator there, it should change, but not sure why it isn't. You can also go below 0 on the app. However, to sync a value to below 0, you need to pay for the full version of the app. Now this allows you to save quite a bit of brightness because obviously if the screen, I don't really like the screen auto brightness. that comes with most Android phones, so you can set your own there. So onto Advanced Task Manager. I feel that it's a great way of clearing RAM and boosting performance. Some people find that memory clearing applications may not work, and there's heavy debate about their genuineness. However, I find that memory clearing works to boost performance and battery life on my phone. I use Advanced Task Manager. There's a lot of these apps on the market, but with this Advanced Task Manager, you can select to clear only a certain amount of apps and to not clear others. Also, if you go into settings, you can choose to, every time the screen turns off, you can choose to clear all the apps or kill them regularly. I do screen off kill just because it's, like, I forget that it's even there sometimes, but I still have great performance on my phone. Autorun Manager is a bit of a weird app, but once you get the hang of it, you can use it quite easily. Back when I had Facebook and Messenger installed on my phone, it kind of does what Greenify doesn't let you do. So with each application, you have certain services that run, and so if we go into Chrome, we can see all these services that are running in the background. And say if I didn't want to run the open download receiver in the background, I could untick that. However, I'm not exactly sure what that does, so I think I'll just leave it on. There's also a basic mode, which I use just because, I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing in this app, so you can just choose to enable, disable some apps. No-frills CPU allows you to easily set your minimum and maximum clock speeds, as well as your governor and schedule. I find on the Nexus 5, having this should be the other way around, having a minimum of 300 megahertz and a max of 1.5 gigahertz, that actually works quite nice. That should work quite nice on most phones in the market at the moment. I tried to run 300 megahertz maximum on my phone. It did work, but there was a short delay in opening apps, and when you went to open some apps like Clash of Clans and stuff, it would take over about 30 seconds compared to 5. So normally, your mileage may vary, but I find that the governor conservative and the I/O scheduler deadline are the best for the phone. You can then press apply, and it may take a few seconds to apply. Then you can go into CPU-Z, and then it'll show that my phone's running 1.5 gigahertz on one core, 800 megahertz on the other cores. So I think it's struggling a bit with this low frequency max, so that's why it's kind of using all cores at the same time. So the main things that you want to be able to do to save the most amount of battery is going into the settings application. The first thing you should do is turn off NFC if you're not using it. Go into wireless and networks to NFC. This can take a bit of battery if you don't use it much. Another way to save battery is turning off haptic feedback. So if you go into sound, you then go down to vibrate on touch. If you turn that off, it saves a lot of battery by not using the vibrator. You can also change the sleep timer, go into display, and then sleep. So if you're one of the people that commonly accidentally leave their screen on, this can save a lot of battery. Also, depending on the model of phone you have, you may have a pulse notification light. So on the Nexus 5, it's down the bottom there. I know on some other phones like the Galaxy S5 and the HTC One, they have it in different locations. But this setting all works for all of them, so you can turn it on or off. I just have it off so it saves that battery. I don't really use it. Also, on location services, I really like the way that Google's done this. You can choose to have a high accuracy mode, battery saving, or device only. I tend to use high accuracy since I'm a heavy GPS and maps user. But if you're not using the GPS or anything, then you can just turn it on to battery saving or device only. I'm not sure which out of battery saving device only is more battery saving, but I'm assuming it will be battery saving since it's not using the GPS antenna. Now also on accounts, on Google accounts, you can go down to accounts, Google. Now on Google accounts you can select certain accounts and turn off syncing for some accounts. So if you go into all your accounts and do this separately and turn off syncing, then it'll save a lot of battery because it won't automatically sync when you get onto Wi-Fi. Now, depending on your phone and version of Android, you might be able to turn on to Dalvik. So turn off Dalvik and go onto the Art Android runtime environment. Now, to get to this, you need to go into developer options. You might not have developer options on your phone. Just go into about phone and then keep on clicking on the Android version until it comes up with a K Android 4.4 KitKat. And then that should unlock the developer options on your phone. Now developer options, you can break a lot of stuff in here if you're not careful, but on the select runtime, if you click use Art, you'll restart your phone and all the apps will be converted to Art runtime. However, some apps don't work on Art that well, like Clash of Clans and SnapSave. They're just two apps off the top of my head that didn't work. Now, I kind of need to use those two apps quite often, so that's why I'm on Dalvik at the moment. But I found that when I was running under Art, I saved a lot of battery life. Depending on your usage of the phone and everything, your mileage may vary. You may find that Art might work better for you. You can also go into process stats. It'll tell you a lot of information about stats, about apps that are open. And so if you see some of these apps and you're not sure why they're there, like, oh, I don't even use Spotify, why is it 100%? Well, then you can find that your battery is being used mostly by Spotify. However, I do use that quite a bit, so it's not that. You can then turn off that app with Greenify. Now, if you scroll down a bit more, make sure that force GPU rendering and GPU view updates are off, just so the phone doesn't use the GPU for all the rendering. And that could drain the battery fast. Also, 4 times MSAA, you can turn that off too because that would drain the battery. Some last tips with saving battery. You should uninstall Facebook and Messenger. These apps can hog CPU resources and battery life, as well as upload all your text messages and everything to Facebook. More on that privacy stuff is coming next week. So thanks for watching, share the video if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys all next week.